morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is you're watching this and wherever it is you're watching from. My name is James Kinuthia Waithaka. I'm your safety guy. I basically give you tips on how to comply with the law and how to stay safe at work and safe at home. So today I want us to address the issue of first aids, right? What is first aid? First aid is that immediate help that you offer to someone who has suddenly fallen ill or someone who has been injured. And now, because of the nature of medical emergencies and the way you need basically to address issues very quickly, we talk about first aid as that initial help that you offer. And it is not the final. You basically offer that help. If the person recovers, well and good. If they do not, then you refer them to a hospital, either by taking them yourselves or by calling in an ambulance. Now, the law in Kenya, that is OSH 2007, I think section 95 talks about the first aid issues in the workplace. But then, remember we said that an act of parliament only tells you what is to be done. But then the how is basically detailed in what you call the regulations or the rules. And in Kenya, we currently amended what used to be the 1977 rules, and now we have the 2024 first aid rules of 2024. So what that means is there is a new requirement in town as far as first aid is concerned. But let me just break it down simply. All you need to do, first of all, is train people in your workplace on first aid. Okay? If you have at least 10 people, have at least one. If you have between 10 and 20, have at least 2 first aiders up to 3. Okay? But the ratios, of course, are determined in the regulations. However, when it comes to first aid, why train one person when you have 20 employees? Why not train all of them on first aid? And probably you're asking, why would I train all of them? Because first aid is important both at work and even at home. It is a life-saving skill. And I think I've mentioned here before in one of the videos that even in some of the best countries, it takes about 9 to 10 minutes for an ambulance to arrive. Well, Israelis have done it better. I think they are below that, maybe 5 in some cases. But in most places, it takes about 10 minutes to get an ambulance to site. Now, in Kenya, that's a different story. Before you even get contact to an ambulance, it could have taken you that 10 minutes. And so if it's someone who is having a heart attack, if you do not have the basic life-saving skills, especially CPR, chances are very high you're going to lose that person. And in fact, most of the people who died in the houses could actually have been saved just by doing basic CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Now, that is why first aid is very important. And I've even talked about people who are working and you have your children at home. Your child gets a burn, your child gets choked, your child is drowning, for example, right? Who is going to take care of that? First aid skills are very important, both at home and even in the workplace. So what are we saying? That at SAFEPRO Limited, we have come up with a new package. And this is out of necessity because I've heard in most workplaces when you ask them, we need to train your people for 3 days because that is a required period by DOSH. And some people ask for first aid training for half a day. My friend, even defining first aid training, just defining what first aid is, will take more than half a day. So, if anyone is training you for half a day, unaibiwa. You're actually colluding to break the law and they are stealing from you. You're not getting any value for money if you're just doing it for the certificate and you're not helping anyone. And I know the challenge that has been cited most of the time is the issue of we do not have enough time to spare our workers for 3 days. And the challenge also comes in because most people will require you to train a group of people between 5 and 10 or 25 for a class to be viable, economically viable even for the training institution. Now, being cognizant of that challenge, what we've done at SAFEPRO Limited is that we've designed a very nice training center, a small one, accommodates about 10 people. And now, you don't need to bring even the 10 people. If you have 15 people to train, you can give me 3 every week and I'll train them for you. Yes, I mean it. 3 people. If you just have 3, bring them to class. If you have 1, book them for a class next week. So what that does is that as an employer, it gives you the flexibility to basically stagger your training and train all your staff, even if you want to train all of them, without necessarily affecting your production schedules. Because you can literally take 1 person or 2 people, after the 2 come back, you send another 2, And what you're going to do, we're actually going to combine Company A, Company B, Company C. We get 10 trainees, we put them in a class, and we train them in accordance with the curriculum that has been provided by the Directorate of Occupational Safety and Health Services. So you can basically stop taking the shortcut of doing half a day training or a one-day training. Occupational first aid training takes a minimum of 4 days. 3 days worst case scenario, but the recommended period actually by DOSH sometimes can even go up to 5 days because they require up to 40 contact hours for proper first aid training. So basically what we're telling you is there's a solution. You don't have to bring your 25. You can bring 1, you can bring 2. Why is first aid important? It saves lives, it promotes recovery, and of course it relieves the pain. So we are not just saying that it's only first aid that is now on offer in weekly schedules. Even fire safety training, you can now basically break it down and say, I want to train 3, I want to train 2, and we'll accommodate them at our facility. And it is very, very convenient for you. It is affordable. Call us and we'll be able to give you the schedule so that you book when do you want your staff trained on fire, when do you want them trained on first aid, at the convenience of your schedule. So choose any week, talk to us, call us, email us, reach us out on our socials.